Welcome to the Photoshop tutorial on removing images from their backgrounds and layering multiple images in order to make a photorealistic collage. I'm going to run through this process fairly quickly, so feel free to pause or rewind the video in order to follow the steps at your own pace. When selecting an image, it is ideal to choose subjects with a monotonous background. This will allow you to easily select and remove your subject. As you can see, I'm working with an image shot in a studio with an all-white backdrop. After opening your image in Photoshop, you'll need to double-click the layer to change it from a background to an editable layer within your layer palette. Next, select the magic wand or selection tool and set your tolerance level above depending upon the background. Now select your background by clicking with the wand. Make sure to hold Shift to add to your selection. Now press the Delete key to remove the background, deselect, and use the arrow tool to move the remaining image into your new background image. Now that I have my subject placed in the new background, I notice that there's still a white fringe from the previous background. To remove this, I will Command-click on my image icon within the layer palette, select it, and then go to the Select menu above and modify the selection by contracting it a couple of pixels. Now that my selection is inside of the fringed area, I can select the inverse and delete it by hitting Shift, Command-I on my keyboard, and then delete. Now I have an image with clean edges to work with. Next, I'm going to select another image to incorporate into my collage. Be sure to double-click in the layer palette first to enable you to edit. I'm going to use my polygon lasso selection tool to quickly select the portion of the image that I want to extract. I'll set my selection to feather the edges 1 pixel so that it will blend a little more seamlessly with my new backdrop. I'm just going to make a quick selection by clicking from point to point along my image. Don't double click until you've outlined your entire image, but if you do as I've done here, you can just hold Shift in order to create a new selection in addition to your previous selection. You can see I've missed a portion of my image, so I'm going to again hold Shift and add this to my previous selection. Now that I have my image, I can use the arrow tool to drag and drop it into my final composition. My background has come in front of my main subject, so I'm going to drop it down between my background and my subject within the hierarchy in my layers palette. Now I enable the auto select and show transform features for my arrow tool. This will give me the ability to resize and reposition my images individually by clicking on them. To keep your images proportionate, hold down the Shift key while scaling them up or down. Use the arrow keys on your keyboard to nudge their image in place. Finally, I'm going to select my subject in the foreground and flip him horizontally to better complement the composition. Thanks for watching this brief tutorial. Feel free to email me if you have any questions and check out some of the resources listed for more tips and tricks on creating with Photoshop.